Hi everyone and welcome back to the virtual classroom where we look, listen and learn together. I've been using some clay. It's a great material to use, helps to strengthen our fingers, and if you make a mistake you can start again and you can create lots of interesting things using clay, using your imagination. But I also have my box of natural materials here. I thought maybe I could make some impressions in the clay. That means I could press down some of these objects, see what pattern they make when I do that. Got lots of interesting things in here. I have some gum nut type seeds that I might choose. Might take a few of those out. So you can make your collection and then you can choose what you'd like to use to make the impressions. There's a pine cone. There's some bigger gum nuts in here. And maybe a leaf. We even have a tiny pine cone that might make some interesting marks. And maybe this big leaf. And a big gum nut too. Got quite a collection that I'm going to use. So first, I need to get my clay ready. So I'm going to press the clay really hard. I'm going to try and just make a sort of slab of clay, sort of like a canvas for the impressions to be made in. There we go. And if your clay is getting a little bit dry, you can always add some water to it as well. I love my natural box because in my Nature's Treasure box I have lots of interesting things to use. And you never know when you might want to use them. I have a piece of cardboard here that I'm going to use as my board for today. Press that down there. And then I'm going to see what patterns are made. Patterns can be any shape or size. I'm going to use this big gum nut first. Let's see what happens when I press that in there. Oh, look at that shape. Maybe I might put some gum nut circles around the outside. There we go. Patterns. Nature's patterns. What about this pine cone? What happens when I roll the pine cone? Leaves some sort of little indents from these sort of pine-shaped pieces there. Oh, got this mini pine cone that's making some little impressions as well. It's fun making impressions. You never know what shape is going to come out. I have 3 little gum nuts. I'll see if I can do 2 at a time. There we go. Maybe even little circles dotting all over my clay. Oh, sometimes they get stuck. And you could even put patterns inside patterns. It's amazing that nature can produce such symmetrical shapes. There we go. You can see that I have made quite an interesting pattern there with my shapes that have come from natural materials. I might make another slab now. I might see if I can make the leaf impression. So I'm going to put the clay together. I'm going to put a little bit of water in as well, just so it gets a little bit more moist. Use your hands to squish it together. Oh, feel my hands getting stronger and stronger as this goes on. Need this one to be quite long because I'm going to do the gum leaf, and the gum leaf is that size, so you might need to measure the size of your leaf before you make the impression in it, in the clay as well. It's sort of like making a fossil. Fossils were left in nature when the temperatures changed, when there was volcanoes. That was the first one I did. I'm going to use my board again. And if you have a rolling pin, you can use a rolling pin as well. But I quite like just using my hands. It makes you really feel the material you're working with. Just stick this down there. You've got to really press it in. Oops. And press. Press along the edges of the leaf. And you can really push it in so you can really see the edge as well. Let's see. Can you see that leaf shape? I might just paint in the edges there so you can see exactly where it is. There it is. You can see some of its veins in there. Beautiful. And the stem down the bottom there. Looks like I've made a little fossil that was found an ancient fossil. That's a gum leaf impression that I've made. Maybe around it I might put some tiny little gum leaf seeds, gum seeds impressions. There you go. Oops. Don't lose your natural material inside the clay. Some of the tiny ones get lost when you press them in. You can make a beautiful piece of artwork using clay and natural materials. Here we go. Lovely. I wonder what you can create with your clay or your Play-Doh at home. Put my two on there. You can even paint the clay if you'd like to be able to really see the impressions that you have. You can leave them flat and earthy like that one. I used pine cones and gum nuts and little tiny seeds and leaves to create my patterns and my impressions. Maybe you can give it a go at your house. Make some patterns, natural patterns from your collection. I'll see you next time. Bye.